Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Step Up to Rise Up. This is a show that is dedicated to you and your personal growth, and you're taking steps every day to live your best life by being your best self and taking steps to become that. So, in case we're meeting for the first time, I want to introduce myself quickly. I'm Linda Nelson, your host, and I'm a mindset belief coach and creator of the Believe in You Academy. And I guide heart centered female solopreneurs like you to grow your business by focusing on your most important asset, and that is you. I provide strategies to help you turn your passion into purpose and profit so that you can live the life of intention and impact you deserve. So, I am so excited again to talk or continue our discussions on growth. As many of you know, I love this time of year. I love being in my gardens and I love seeing all the changes that occur in the spring. But today I want to talk a little bit about some of the other seasons that are in both our gardens and in the seasons as we note them outside, but also the seasons and the growth that occur within our own bodies as well. So, of course, you know that I want to ensure that you're letting me know if you're watching with me live by just commenting where you're from or liking or commenting on the live itself. And if you're catching me on replay later at your convenience, that's awesome too. As always, I want to hear your thoughts and what you're thinking, and I will generally circle back around to comment on your thoughts as I may cause you to think about something a little differently perhaps. So comment below where you're tuning in from if you're catching me live, and comment below also, if you will, hashtag team replay, and then I'll know that you're watching me. That's important to me. So for those of you joining me, welcome. Appreciate your jumping on live with me. I generally get into the topic at hand and I don't realize who's on with me till later when I'm off. So we're going to dive right into the topic at hand today. And then, as I said, I'll circle back and make some comments later. So welcome, everyone. Today's topic is, what does growth have to do with purpose? And as I mentioned early on when we started today, that in the past several weeks, we've talked about my gardens and growth and some of the things that I learn from being in my gardens, and then I relate those lessons, if you will, from my garden to my personal growth and your personal growth as well. And so now that things are starting to finally pop, I wanted to just reflect back on the important season that preceded this spring, and that was a time of everything dying. And, in our lives, we have to die to ourselves also. We'll have seasons of winter in our lives too. And those seasons of winter are like preparation for the spring season in our life, or a season of new beginnings and renewal and rebirth and growth, and some of what we're experiencing now in Purpose Seekers, for example. And so that's why I love this time of year, because it gives me an opportunity to talk about not only the growth in my gardens, but also how we grow as humans too. And of course, my life's work is all about helping support you and help you grow and help your mindset so that you can envision the possibilities for yourself and really work on a life of intention and a life of purpose that you have the ability to create and design. And so, as I said, I love this time of year. It just reminds me of so much lessons, so many lessons about growth as it occurs in us as human beings as well. So, with human growth, or as it is sometimes called personal development, there's a lot that happens inside of us. You know, when I look at spring outside, we see evidence everywhere of growth. But we didn't see all the stuff that happened in the winter, as I was talking about that necessary season. There was a lot of stuff that happened in order for everything to become so evident like it is today. And so it is with our human personal development or our human growth as well. So much happens inside of us through mindset shifts and what we learn from our experiences as we reflect and grow as humans. And so we often, as people, don't see big noticeable change happening to us until it's evident outside of us. And we could use the example of a weight loss journey, for example. There's a lot of learning and growing as we learn to make different food choices, as we make shifts in our mindset, as we look at food as fuel instead of comfort, as we become aware of portion control and we teach our bodies, you know, how to burn fat instead of the blood sugars that are in our system. And so we work on that journey on making our bodies a fat burning machine, efficient, because of changes we make. But we often don't see evidence of that until we come upon somebody and we go, whoa, you look so different. What have you done? And then you come to find out that in fact, they have been on a weight loss journey. And in that journey, much of it was kept hidden until the big reveal or the big end result. And that is really what happens in personal growth too. You have to do a lot of learnings and a lot of mindset shifts and a lot of seeing the possibilities. You know, one of the ways that I profess we see our journey is by journaling, because we have a record. We can look back and we can see, mark a line, if you will, that I was here and now I'm here. And that is called growth. So, as we said, it's like that in the garden. The garden goes through seasons, and each one is necessary for growth. And it's like that in our lives too. Spring, that we're in now, is that kind of new beginning, that renewal and rebirth, right? When everything is alive, everything's getting green, everything's sprouting up, the trees are budding, you can see growth happening everywhere. And then summer, of course, is that season of immense growth when things are producing and we're starting to see some of the results of that growth, right? But it's a big time of a season that has that all those things that are happening in the spring need to be nourished and tended to. And we water, we fertilize, we prune, we do a lot of things to encourage that growth in the summer. And then we get to fall, where we get to harvest, if you will, and we get to experience the fruits of our labor in that season. And that happens in personal growth too, right? There's a time that we have maybe intense learning taking place, or even an intense trial where we're learning a lot of things as we move through it. And so that's a big time learning that will eventually lead to fruits of our labor. And so we have a summer in our personal growth or our lives as well. And then, of course, we go back to that winter season where everything has to die, everything has to rest, everything needs time and space to just be. And we have seasons like that too. And in those seasons of winter, that's a time for preparation. And that's another important part of growth, is that stopping and reflecting and knowing what it is we want in our life. That's all part of our growth journey. And so in that way, growth or personal development is a continuous process of developing and understanding ourselves to achieve our highest potential, or becoming a better version of ourselves as we journey through those seasons of our life. And so we continue, because it's continuous and a process, we continue to take steps forward to the life that we want, the life that we create, the life we deserve. So we are all born with potential. Our Creator made us with huge potential in each and every person. And our life's journey is really about discovering it throughout our lives. And so I look at investing in personal development or our growth as the highest form of self-care. And many of us are in seasons, as I am now, where I can focus on that. And not only have I focused on my own personal growth, I'm also now in a season where I'm passing on the lessons that I learned in my own growth journey of discovery to people that I have the privilege and the responsibility of working with. And so when I talk about our potential, a person, as people, we are very complex. There's many aspects to our whole being, if you will. We have physical, we have emotional, we have social, intellectual components, and spiritual components, just to name a few. And all of those take an understanding and development and reflection to know what we want in each of those areas to become our very best selves. Now, we have a choice in how we view this potential or what we do with this potential. The first choice is we can let that potential be wasted by just going through life blindly, unaware of what our life experiences are teaching us, and basically just let life happen to us versus taking charge and creating a life that we want. And so our second choice, which I believe to be more beneficial and bring more joy and meaning to our life, is to grow, make the conscious choice, I guess, to grow that potential and to learn about ourselves and take intentional action steps toward who you want to become, where you are designed, or who you were designed, I should say, and created to be by our Creator. And so you can see that, in fact, that is a process. We are human beings or human becomings. And as we learn and as we grow, we find purpose and meaning in our life. And we find joy in living each day. But you need to have clarity about who you are and what you want in your life, so that you can create even more things that bring you joy and meaning. And then that spills over into the lives of others that God puts in our path, and help them think about living an intentional life too. So all those changes that you make, sometimes we think that, who am I? I'm one person. But you all have a circle of influence, people who are watching you, people who see evidence from time to time of your growth and the intentions that you put forth in your life. And they learn from watching you. I know many of you have commented about my growth and how you've seen me grow over the last year. And most of you know that I have been very intentional about that. And you may not have seen all the steps I took, or were even aware of them for that matter, but you have seen evidence when you look at me now versus, looking at me a year ago, say, that a lot of growth has occurred. And that's the exciting part for me as a coach in working with people and helping them discover their gifts, discovering that purpose, taking a look at passions and what really lights them up, and then using that information to create a more intentional life and thereby impact the world and bring more joy not only to themselves, but also to the people that are in their life that are a benefit of that. And so it is in that process of becoming and experiencing life and going through this journey, recognizing that we have all of these different seasons that we need to go through in order to grow. And we've talked about, being stuck in your comfort zone and not taking those actions, if you will, and moving into courageous zone. But it is a continuous process. And it's one that we need to get clarity about and really think and reflect about what is it we want, because we have the power within us to create what we want more of in our life. So my challenge for you this week and in the weeks ahead, because we're going to talk more about this whole thing about your passions and your purpose and how that can just bring so much joy and meaning in every single day. And I know we know in so many ways life reminds us that life is really short and there are no guarantees. We don't know how much time that we have to impact the world. But what we do know is we can make an impact every single day when we discover what's important to us and live that life of intention and purpose and live up to the potential that you were created to be. So go out, discover who you are, keep learning about yourself. Keep that growth mindset going about the possibilities. Learn new skills, talk to new people, learn something new about yourself. Take up some habits like journaling. I'll say that again. If I haven't convinced you in, hanging out with me, I hope to keep pounding that into you till you actually pick up a pen and some paper and start writing your thoughts down. And all of that, all those little steps that you take, drinking more water, being cognizant of what goes into your body, learning or reading something new, or being intentional about what you're learning in terms of personal growth, all of those things will contribute to your overall well-being and all the things that you want in your life. So know that I am still here, and I will be your biggest cheerleader, and I will continue to support you in that endeavor as you continue to grow into the unlimited potential that our Creator made in each one of you. Have a beautiful, wonderful day, and do think about investing time in yourself and discover your purpose. With that, I will say so long for now, and we'll be back again next week for Step Up to Rise Up, a weekly show. Again, this is all aimed at helping you in your journey of becoming your very best self. So bye for now. Have a wonderful week, and I'll be back again next week.